Hello everybody, can you hear me? Hello everybody, I hope all of you are in complete health and everything is going well for you. I'm so sorry for being late today. I come back late from work and I informed Academy to send emails to you to announce you I'm late today. I'm sorry about you. I'm sorry about that. Today is the last class, and this semester has finished. Don't forget your project, and you should send me your project for by next week and Tuesday. If you see your classmate, please tell them today is last class and remind them for project. Okay. I remembered a little part of chapter 1 has remained, and unfortunately, I didn't tell you about this topic, productivity challenge. Please let me finish and complete this part. And I'm going to finish in chapter 1. There is an important concept that is known as productivity challenge. Productivity is the ratio of outputs, goods and services, divided by inputs, resources such as labor and capital. When you divide the outputs mean the finished products or services. If your company is operating in manufacturing part, output is product or goods that have been produced by your company. But if you are working in service company, you should bring the number of people that have been served by your company. If you divide this number by inputs means everything that involves the process of production, such as labor, such as capital, and something like this. If you divide, for example, outputs by labor, you can calculate productivity labor. If you divide divide by capital, you can calculate the productivity of capital. This is called, here, the most important mission or the most important objective of operation manager is to improve productivity. There is an important note. Production is a measure of output only and not a measure of efficiency. Please consider this yellow box. Production is a measure of output only and not a measure of efficiency. Okay, so productivity is very important, and two companies can be compared by their productivity. So the operation manager, one of the most important operation manager tasks is improving this productivity. The autonomic system. Okay, economic system can be described as chart, as this solo chart. For example, input such as labor, capital management, come to company, bring to company, they involve in the process and they played an important role in process for production, producing a service or product or goods. The US economic system transforms input to output at about an annual 2.5% increase in productivity per year. The productivity increase is the result of a mix of capital, 38% up 2.5%, labor 10% up 2.5%, and management 52% up 2.5%. This collection gives you outputs, goods and services. There is a feedback loop here. When you produce goods and services, you can compare them by input. This is concept of productivity. So productivity is the feedback of outputs in comparison to inputs. Productivity. Productivity can be calculated as formula that you can see. Units produced divided by input used. Measure of process improvement. Productivity is measure of process improvement. It represents output relative to inputs. Only through productivity increases can our standard of living improve. This is very important that company can decrease costs, decrease inputs, and increase outputs at the same time. If you can decrease inputs, in fact, you have decreased costs. And simultaneously, if you can increase product or service, you have improved productivity. That is very important, and you can compare it with your competitors to see which one has done better. You can see an example here. One example about single factor productivity. What is single factor productivity? If you divide the number of products by only labor or capital or management, you have calculated productivity, a single factor productivity. So single factor productivity, you consider only labor, capital, or management. One of them, not all of them. Imagine you are working in a company that have produced 1,000 products. Manager sees that this number, this quantity, have been produced in 250 labor hours, or 250 hours has been used by labor for producing this number, or 1,000 units. If you divide 1,000, that is units produced, by 250 hours, labor hours, you can calculate productivity. 1,000 divided by 250 produce 4 units per labor hour. It shows that per labor hour used, 4 units has been produced by company. If you increase units produced and at the same time you decrease labor hour used, you can improve and increase productivity. For example, another company that is your competitor have produced 1,200 in 200 labor hour use. If you divided 1,200 divided by 200, it produces 6 units per labor hour. So it shows that the productivity of your competitor is better than you because it's higher than you. So operation manager should try to increase this productivity. Okay? It's called, or it's known as single factor productivity. Very easy concept. Now we have multi-factor productivity. In multi-factor productivity, all of the inputs yes, very good. You can improve or increase productivity through two approach, through two ways. The first method is you can increase units produced. If you increase units produced, you can improve or increase productivity. And another approach or another method for increasing productivity is decreasing labor overuse or the capital use. The both of them lead to increasing productivity. Okay? Okay. There is a second concept, or there is a second productivity here. It's called multi-factor productivity because you have involved all of the inputs in this formula: labor, material, energy, capital, and miscellaneous. If you consider all of the inputs together, you have calculated for multi-factor productivity. Another name for multi-factor productivity is total factor productivity. Output and inputs are often expressed in dollars. This is very important because you cannot sum labor, material, energy, capital, and another thing, because the scale, sorry, the unit of measure for all of them is different together. For example, labor is measured in hour unit. Material can be measured in kilogram. Energy is kilowatt. They are different. So, in order to removing this difficulty or removing this problem, we express all of the inputs in dollar. For example, in labor, you can calculate how much you have spent for labor, how much you have spent for material. You can calculate the cost that you have been incurred by each of them. Okay, this is called multi-factor productivity. Measurement problems. There are some problems for productivity. As I told you, the productivity shows the performance of a company. And when you compare to productivity, you can tell the company that has higher productivity has done better. But there are some problems in measuring productivity. For example, in productivity, quality is not considered by manager. For example, one company has done better because it has higher productivity. But the quality of product maybe maybe not as well as the company that has less productivity. So the quality is important. Productivity shouldn't be considered alone. It determines which company has done better, has performed better. Another thing is some external elements may cause an increase or decrease in productivity. That is not in hand of company. That is not under control of the company. One company has performed better because the situation of the company had been better. For example, its competitors had worse situation. Yes, as one of your friends, Mr. Nurzai, told, for example, inflation and customer demand can be some of elements. For example, imagine one of company in Afghanistan is operating, sorry, can operate very better than a company in Iran. But some situation in Afghanistan can let the company to sell more, or can let the company to increase productivity, such as policy, such as government policy, such as inflation, and such as, for example, sanction and something like this. Something like this. And another thing is precise unit of measure may be lacking. Precise unit of measure means the company has told this unit of number has been produced, for example, in this amount of units labor, in this amount of labor hour. But you don't know it is right or not. These numbers or statistics or this information that has been given by company is right or not, because you are not present in company to see the situation closely and write and collect the data in company. So the precise unit of measure may be lacking. Productivity variable. As I told you, productivity is output divided by input. So in input, three variable or three factors are playing an important role for productivity. Labor, capital management. It's interesting that labor contributes about 10% of annual increase in productivity. Capital contributes about 38% of annual increase, and management contributes about 50% of annual increase. So it shows that management is very, very important. So it shows that management is very, very important in comparison to capital and labor. In increasing or improving productivity. Key variables for improved labor productivity. Key variables for improved labor productivity. We are focusing on labor productivity, on labor. So, in order to improve labor productivity, the items below are necessary. Basic education appropriate for the labor force. So, the labor force should have a basic appropriate education. The lack of skills and lack of education, lack of knowledge for labor can lead to company lose. Diet of labor force. Diet of labor force. In diet of labor force means that company it's better that company employ the less labor force but skilled labor force. Not necessary to employ a lot of labor because it can increase the cost. Social overhead that make labor available. In some countries such as China, such as India, because of large population, the social overhead is so that can make labor available very much. Maintaining and enhancing skills in the mindset of rapidly changing technology and knowledge. With regard to rapidly changing technology and knowledge, it's very essential that managers update the skill of labor or upgrade the skills of labor along with improve advancing technology and knowledge. All of them can affect on labor productivity. It's better that we can say it can increase labor productivity. Ethics and social responsibility. Anybody knows that what is social responsibility? What is social responsibility? Anybody know? If somebody knows, let me know. To pass microphone to him or her to share it with others. What's the meaning of social responsibility? Anybody know? Okay. Okay. Social responsibility is no. Social responsibility means the responsibility that all companies undertake or promise that produce products or services that can benefit social, not harm social society, sorry, that can benefit society. For example, when you're producing food or you are operating at a restaurant, you have a social responsibility to serve high quality food to people. Yes, very good. Yes. As Dr. Navi told, protection of environment is another responsibility that companies undertake or that promise to government or society to consider or respect to environment. Yes, another name is respect to environment and people of a society. For example, when you are operating, you should consider environment to not harm the ocean, seas, jungle, desert, and you should consider wildlife and something like this. Yes. Some activity in social responsibility, as Dr. Nabi told, reuse and recycle are two activities in relation to social responsibility. Very good. Challenges facing operations manager. Developing and producing safe quality products. Maintaining a clean environment. Providing a safe workplace for labor. Honoring community commitments. So, these items are challenges facing operation manager. And operation managers should consider them and respect them. The quality product, clean environment, safe workplace, community commitment. Some years ago, for example, I think 4 or 5 years ago, Toyota in Japan had produced some default automobile. The braking system had problem. The braking system were defective. They didn't know and they sold to customers around the world. After finding problem, the Twitter announced that all of the defective automobiles should be collected and resent We send that to Twitter again. They become, they became in television program and told, apologize to all of customers for offering defective automobile. This is social responsibility. This is very good that when companies find its problem, inform the customer for resending back products to company to exchange them. This is community commitment. That Japanese automobile factory did very well. Okay. This is ethics and social responsibility facing operation managers. As I told you, a little part of chapter 1 has remained. I completed it now, and chapter 1 finished and completed. Okay. Some of you were absent in early time of class. I told your friends today is last class. So I'm looking forward for your project. Don't neglect doing your project, and you should submit me by next week, Tuesday. Your project, as I told you, is a 10 pages report about one of the subjects that I had sent to you. You should have selected one of them and provide a 10-page report about it in your favorite industry. If I sent this email to you 10 weeks ago, I sent this email 10 weeks ago in early weeks of class. Yes, I wrote my email address again in chat, sabermirza@gmail.com. If somebody has not received my email, send email to this address to me, sabermirza@gmail.com. Don't forget. Send an email to me to forward it again to you. Okay? Okay. And also somebody has not received previous chapters, presentation, slides, also send me email to resend again to him or to her. But I have sent all of chapters that I lectured in class. I think most of the students have received it. But it may some students have not received it. I don't know why, because I had all of your email and I sent email to all of emails that existed in my email list. Okay, don't worry about it. Please send me email to resend you again. Okay, very good. Okay, there is a exercise now. I can explain you the answer. If you remember, I represented it last week in this screen. Examine whether process is under control or not, X bar and R chart. I want to review it again for you in this exercise. No, I didn't send an email. I didn't send email this one to you. Nobody has not received. Nobody received this document, I know, because I didn't send. I want to explain and review it, and I want to explain again this chapter because it was very important if you remember. I told you a statistical process control. If you remember, I told you there are 4 charts that can help you to see whether the process is under control or not. If if you consider a variable in your company, yes, yes, it is an assignment for you. Okay, I want to explain you and I want to review this chapter. If you solve this exercise and send to me, it has influence on your final mark. It has a positive influence on your final mark, but it's not compulsory. It's arbitrary. Doing this project, doing this homework is not compulsory. Okay. In one company, operation manager has done 8 times sampling. In each sampling, it has selected 5 units. So what is the sample size? How much is sample size here? Very good, 5. These numbers are diameter of a sorry, but there is a problem here. The variable is diameter and the units are in meter, not kilogram. There is a mistake here. It's not kilogram, it's meter. Because we want to measure the diameter of a automobile part. An automobile component that has been produced in this company. The operation manager wants to control the diameter of this part, so it has selected 5 units, take to laboratory and measure the diameter of this part. For example, in sampling 1, the first part or first component has 12, for example, 12 centimeter diameter. X2 is 12.4 centimeter. Part 3 or component 3 has 13 centimeter diameter, 50.5. Sampling 2. For example, the 1 hour later, he has done the sampling 2 and all of the data has been recorded here. All of these data are X because it's variable, the diameter. You should calculate X bar. So you have to sum these numbers and divide them by 5 to calculate X bar. And you can write in this table, in each of them. When you calculate each X bar for each sampling, at the end you can sum these X bar together and divide them by 8. When you do this, you can calculate X bar easily. When you calculate X bar, you can use formulas or X bar charts I have written for you. For example, U, CL, and LCL, X bar, and LCL is X bar minus Z, sigma and this N. Sigma and this N equal radical sigma divided by radical N. So, for R chart, you should use R. As I told you, the R means range, and it's difference between maximum number and minimum number. For example, in sampling 1, how much is range in sampling 1? For finding R, you should determine maximum number and minimum number in each sampling, and by use of maximum number minus minimum number in each sampling. Please let me write for you. Yes, I will send you, but I want to review the chapter for you and then send this. I told you in R chart. In R chart, I told you should calculate R, range. Range is maximum number minus minimum number equals R in each sampling. Please look at the chat, sorry. Look at the chat. Maximum number minus minimum number equal R in each sampling. For example, in sampling 1, you can see 5 number. You can see 5 number because you have 5x, you have 5 diameter, you have 5 data in sampling 1. How much is the maximum number in row 1, first row? Very good. Mr. Navid calculated it very nice. 3.5. The maximum number in sampling 1 in the first row is 15.5. Minimum number is 12. So 15.5 minus 12 reduce 3.5. Okay, very easily. Now in sampling 2. In sampling 2, how much is the range? In sampling 2, how much is the range? No. No. Mr. Because you are close to results. You are close to results, but it's very good, very good. 3.8. I explain again. In R chart, you should calculate R bar. R means range, and range means the difference between maximum number and minimum number in each sampling. We have 8 sampling here, sampling 1, sampling 2, sampling 3. In each sampling, 5 data exist, 5 number exist. You should see each row in front of each sampling. For example, in sampling 1, there are 5 numbers, 12, 12.4, 13, 15, 50.5. Okay, very easily. If you get it, immediately tell me how much is the range for in sampling 3. Everybody should tell me. Everybody. Sampling 3, how much? Very good. Mr. Navabi. Only Mr. Navabi is at his desk. Everybody. Is there somebody that has problem in this concept? Is there anybody that has problem in this concept? Okay. But unfortunately, I think I don't know. Where are you? Are you available? Okay. But nobody answered me. Okay. Some of the students tell me the concept is not clear. I explain again. In R chart, in drawing R chart, you should calculate R bar because if you refer your slide, I sent a slide to you. Okay, I sent earlier this slide to you. If you refer this slide, you can see you have to calculate R bar. in order calculating R bar, you should see the data in each sampling. When you calculate the difference between maximum number and minimum number, it gives you range. It means that in sampling 1, the range is, sampling 2 is, sampling 3 is. When you sum these 8 range and divided them by 8, you can calculate R bar. Okay, very good. When you calculate R bar, by use of formula, you can use UCL, upper control limit, and LCL, lower control limit, and you can put all of this data in your chart to see all of them have been located between UCL and LCL or not. If all of points have been located between UCL and LCL, you can tell that process is under control. But if one of the spots or one of these data is out of this area, for example, you can see the process is not under control. This person is used this lesson is a statistical process control. The name of topic, the name of subject is a statistical process control. Statistical. Okay, I wrote. Oh, sorry. Statistical process control. I didn't remember chapter number, but it was the name of chapter was statistical. I think it's 3 weeks ago, week 9, I think, week 9 or 8. But I'm sure that I sent the slides to you. If you haven't received it yet, please let me know. Please send me email to send back them to you. Okay. So it was a little explanation about it. Okay, the class finished now. As I told you, it was the last class. I hope this class was useful for you and you learned Third, useful information. A project to me 2 weeks Can you hear? Can you can, can you hear now? Can you hear? Okay. I told you I extended project. You can send me 2 weeks later. No problem. You can form group and do project together. In 4, you can send project to me 2 weeks later. If somebody do this exercise and send me, I will increase 5. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. The class has finished now. I hope to see all of your success in your job, in your, okay, very good. And I hope that all of these chapters have been useful for you. Unfortunately, my Skype work, don't work. Do you have, if you have OVO, have OVO system. If you have OVO system, you can search. This is my, okay. I try to fix my Skype and send email my new ID to you. Okay. The class has finished and I'm waiting for your project 15 days later.